The gaming phenomenon of 2024 has in fact seen better days. We talked about this not that long ago. I forget in what video, or maybe it was a Helldivers 2 specific video. Probably was in regards to, well, something we'll circle back around to by the end of this. But realistically, man, like, you take a look at the 3 months that the game has been out. Like, it came out, what, February, late February or something like that. So all of March, all of April, all of May. And yeah, it's a nice, slow downslope, right? Obviously, it had its goofy little dust up with the stupid PSN account, which I think everybody accurately called on that one. I remember, opining on the issue where it's like, okay, cool. Helldivers 2 is the biggest game in the world right now, and Sony wants to do their stupid PSN accounts over the top of this, but there was enough of a backlash where they'd go ahead and back off. But what have we seen so far with Ghost of Tsushima? Oh, that's just to play the multiplayer where you need a PSN account. But now with the God of War Ragnarok port that's on the horizon, everything that's all single player on that one, you're going to need a Sony account to access that stuff. So yeah, first-party Sony titles that are coming over to PC, they're finding a way to latch on their stupid plastic box policies to further ruin PC players' experience. Good job, Sony. I'm sure that'll allow you to break in the PC market ever so smoothly. But Helldivers 2, after their policy reversal, seemingly maintained their popularity. Okay, everything was going fine, just naturally. People were playing, 200,000 people. I think that was during that week right there, right at the beginning of April. Natural dip during the week. But then, yeah, of course, it would just end up trending up towards the weekend. And yeah, as the months go on, as new games come out, or as fewer changes to the game ultimately gets made. And yeah, it's a live service game, one that it did, in fact, take off. It's incumbent on new challenges, new maps, new content being pushed out. It's just natural that these games just kind of sunset after a while. Games come, games go. That's the way of the world now. So yeah, there's no shame at having your all-time peak at just about 500,000 concurrent players, and even within the past 24 hours at time of recording, just about 50,000 players. That's still really good, okay? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League never even came close to that many players, at their peak, let alone within the past 24 hours. They might have 49 or 27. So yeah, things are still all right over there, okay? But the long-term viability of this game, who really knows, man? Because everybody was at least, looking at Arrowhead Studios going, why weren't you upfront and honest with us about that Sony stuff that you apparently knew about 6 months beforehand? Why aren't you necessarily coming down on your more toxic community managers that are denigrating the customers? What are you actually doing up there? Shuffling the deck chairs in your C-suite offices? Like, okay, we'll see what happens, right? But Helldivers 2 has stacked the deck to stop players unlocking the anti-tank mines. So you're making changes, but you're making the game less fun, less what made your game popular to begin with. That's very interesting, right? Helldivers 2 community has been on a roll recently by completing numerous major orders and turning the war against the automatons and the Terminids, okay, in our favor, but all good things must come to an end, and it might happen sooner rather than later, as the Illuminate is right around the corner and is set to come at the game at the conclusion of the current story arc. So yeah, theoretically, that should end up boosting their player count, but we'll be paying attention to that. Part of the story puts morality on the table, and the players make a choice: save the children or unlock a fun reward. Well, if it's all for democracy, kids can't vote, so to hell with them. The current major order has once again given players two choices, with a decision affecting both the story and the reward granted the players for its success. The first is to rescue survivors currently trapped on the automaton planet, including children. This route appears to have no rewards attached to it apart from a sense of morality. The second will finally unlock the anti-tank mines. And yeah, if they just wanted to focus on stuff like that, playing through different challenges in a couple of different ways, everything would be fine. And if that's where your familiarity with the story ultimately concluded, things would be all well and good. But unfortunately for Helldivers, there is more to this story, and it does in fact involve stupid moderators, stupid community managers ruining the game from the inside. Crazy Helldivers 2 moderators are now punishing people for not liking furry art. This is what, oh my god, this is what you're focused on, huh? This is your reminder that if you want to vomit, react furry art, or be a jerk about furry art, that you are lining up for a 24-hour timeout by one of the mods. Oh, great, fantastic. And then, yeah, just in case you might have thought that that might have been taken out of context, it was a joke or something like that, because we're unironically talking about a super successful game and one moderator's undying love for furry art. On a public Discord. Kate, instead of punishing the Helldivers mod, who went on a ban and suspension spree for anyone using the thumbs down or vomit emote on furry art or big gay fan art, they removed emojis entirely from their Discord. Oh my god. Helldivers moderation team is a complete joke. This mod made multiple false accusations of SA against Grums, yes, and the power tripping ban happy unstable individual. Knight keeps getting Helldivers into trouble and yet is still employed at Arrowhead GS. Wow, imagine that. When I made a video about how Helldivers and their community managers were a problem, I ended up getting sufficiently ratioed. I think that video has like a 12% approval, and wow, look who ends up getting proven right once again. Give your boy just enough time. I will in fact end up be proven to be telling the truth. Helldivers 2 moderator bans users for vomit reacting to all of that degeneracy. Okay, yeah, as their player base continues to shrink. Yes, of course, because you continue to just drive people away from the game, knowing that the people propping this stuff up are the same people that are killing the games industry. Helldivers 2 moderator banned multiple users by reacting to furry art with a vomit reaction emoji, and subsequently had emojis removed. According to SteamDB, I use Steam charts, tomato. Helldivers 2 has seen its player base massively shrink since its peak in February of 458,709 concurrent players. The most recent 24-hour peak is 52,000. Yeah, and like I said, you know, what's the peak from the chart that we have right here? 49,000. So yeah, it's the exact same thing, right? Depending on when you're looking at it, it's all good, right? Amidst the decline in the player base, one of the game's moderators in its Discord began banning players for vomit reacting, simply placing a vomit emoji, okay, to a piece of gay furry art. Moderator Tetra Cat Art, sure, who lists pronouns of she, her, they, them, and her bio, as well as featuring a big gay rainbow, and currently has the username of a mouse, posted on June 10th. Gender identity, not politics. It's literally someone's identity. Yeah, but it's still just as insufferable. It has nothing to do with the fucking game, you idiot. But yeah, if these are the people that you want to employ, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And once again, man, it's not get broke, or it's not get woke, go broke. It's get broke, go woke. Because who's still sticking around? The people that are making your turnaround look even more unlikely. But yes, here in the Helldivers 2 server, we have a zero tolerance policy for any sort of bigotry or hate. Yeah, that's hilarious. You can go ahead and be openly hateful by banning people for just simply having an opinion on something that has nothing to do with the shooty bang bang game. But yes, the topic of gender identity. I remember this was also a game, and this was a news story that was running around during the peak of the game's popularity. The developers, Arrowhead Game Studios, didn't want to include a trans flag, a pride flag, or any of that stuff because they didn't want politics in their games. Weird how on the Discord and on the community manager side of things, that's just clearly not the case. The topic of gender identity, especially this month. See, guys, we have protections because it's the big gay month that people are really sick of, is not one that's not allowed. Interesting. What isn't allowed is all the negativity towards people trying to celebrate who they are. Now, you want to go do that? Go do it over there. Okay, take your own degeneracy, put it in your own private space, but oh right, it would just be you. You couldn't ruin other people's day, and you couldn't tell everybody how special and perfect you are by forcing yourself on everything else. She continued, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Oh my god, these people are they're mentally stuck in kindergarten. And also in the same vein, if you are attempting to bait people by flagrantly injecting your sexuality into the conversation, holy shit. Like, I don't know if there's RPG or stat sliders in Helldivers, but a mouse here has zero self-awareness. Zero. Just to start fights, and will also result in a timeout. And now it's time to move the topic along because it's very clear now it's not one we can have civilly. Exactly. It's my way or the highway. And guess what? People are reacting to that stuff and deciding to very much choose the highway. Ironically, this policy makes absolutely no sense, given pushing sexual orientation and transgender ideology as the definition hate. Yeah, I mean, and adherence to those lifestyles, movements, and ideology expresses bigotry. But basically, it's exactly what social justice warriors and woke cultists do. They lie, double down on their lies, and project. That's exactly what happens. Yeah, man, it kind of sucks, right? Because it was so good to see such an apolitical game reach such heights as this. And that's something that people could just click on, download, and have fun killing the bugs for democracy. And it was also hilarious to see all of those spurgs identify with the bugs. It's like, holy shit, every single time you give these freaks an opportunity to tell you who they are, and they go ahead and astound you at every given opportunity. But yet again, man, these freaks, they never build up anything by themselves. They never create anything. They just destroy it. It's sad to see, man. It's really sad to see, but can't necessarily say that I didn't see this coming, especially with all the community manager hubbub that was in, on, and around this stuff about a month ago, and Arrowhead Studios not making any meaningful changes, simply just getting rid of one of the scapegoats and leaving on all of the freaks, probably because they're scared of them and different lawsuits. But that's why wokeism, leftists, not even once. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.